Welcome. I really needed some nature, so I decided to go to a park that is very close to my first Airbnb here in Mexico City. I'm gonna be here a while. Remember this crossing for when you were done with COVID and we saw each other for the first time again. We went by the apartment first, for memory's sake, and got some snacks afterwards. If there is meaning in the past and the imagined future, it is captured in the moment. When you have all the time in the world, you can spend it. Not on going somewhere, but on being where you are. Robin Wall Kimmerer. I often find myself dreaming about living somewhere else, going places, living a different reality from the one I am currently experiencing. As if there was another reality. Isn't there? It always seems just without reach. A plane ride away, if one has the means to afford it. In my head, I am living on a farm in the jungle or at the beach. I'm going swimming early in the morning before the heat of the day sets in, and by noon I'm dozing behind a book in my hammock. I'm also decorating my apartment the way I have always wanted, as if there was only one way and I wasn't constantly overwhelmed by the choices of different styles in reality. This reality. Bohemian, minimalist, eclectic. With decor that I have collected all over the world. Personal items that tell a story. And plants, lots of plants. An outdoor shower. A reading nook. A big kitchen to cook all of the yummy food that goes around in my head in circles. But when it comes to making it, I'd rather prioritize other things. There is no time. Usually there is no time for all the stuff in between. Having a chat with the neighbors, reading the news in the morning, and then a book. While also exercising, going for a walk, feeding the cat, looking out of the window. So important. If I wasn't in this reality, I would be doing all of that, of course. And probably more. Taking classes, exploring new hobbies, learning more languages. But also being completely focused on making art. Living for writing, or maybe pursuing singing again. But it would mean leaving everything else here, behind, right? Or not? Would there be any way to get there, to that reality? Am I really so unhappy in this reality that I must flee from it? But I find myself dreaming about those things a lot, so there must be something to it, right? But usually it happens when I'm struggling with my mental health. This dream contains the promise of a better life. One without overthinking and overwhelm. That promise is also found in abundance on social media. Maybe that's why I tend to spend too much time there when my mental health spirals. Maybe if I didn't, I would have time to read that book, learn more about birds and plants. I could stare out of the window for an infinity. What is more enriching? Scrolling enhances the dream and the struggle to be here now. Flight, towards happiness. Fight of old habits, thoughts, anything that stands in between the dream and me in this reality. A struggle that usually ends in tears. Something that I have been suppressing that caused me to run from this reality is coming to the surface and washed away with my tears. A resting point. Catching air above the surface. Clarity after the storm. Seeing this reality with fresh eyes. Seeing it isn't all so bad. A calm nervous system, and realizing that surrendering to what is brings healing. Realizing that although thoughts are real, they are not necessarily true. Accepting this reality because I know that the other one probably wouldn't be better. How do I know? Because that reality, the one in the past, wasn't better. I wasn't happier when I lived it. Now I may idealize it, but when I look below the surface, I can see that there was unhappiness and depression there too. That I was also caught up in thoughts of comparison between that reality and another one I thought was better. There was loneliness, life stuff. I cannot run from myself, but I can learn to accept what is. I can learn to live this reality to its fullest. I can learn that I deserve to be happy and fulfilled in this reality, and not only in my imagination. I can be proactive to change things in my life that actually make me unhappy and keep the good stuff. I don't want to say that daydreaming is bad. Not at all. It can be a pure sign of deep imagination, setting and having goals. There is a difference between a positive outlook on the future while resting happily in the now, and a need to get away from reality. Please keep in mind that accepting where one is may not be a safe option for everyone. If you are in physical or emotional danger, please seek help from a medical or other professional institution, friends or family that are safe for you. At home, I went over the painting with watercolor. And this is the final result. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to my thoughts on the value of surrendering and accepting what is.